We're currently experiencing winter van life for the first time, and we have made it back to Colorado, a state that we have spent a lot of time exploring in the summer, but never in the winter. So over the next couple weeks, we're going to change that. And we're kicking off our time here in Colorado Springs for a mix of red rocks and mountain views, delicious local eats, heart-pumping climbs, and wandering through a magical winter wonderland. We are having the freaking time of our lives! So our time here in Colorado Springs started off a bit more exciting than we expected. Yesterday, a snowstorm blew in, literally. The winds were crazy and it covered the area with snow. It was so beautiful and a ton of fun to play in, but it did mess up our plans a bit. So with the key word of winter van life being flexibility, we rearranged some things and now we can finally begin exploring the area.
We just stopped into a super cool local coffee shop called Loyal Coffee for some coffee and breakfast. This might be the most beautiful avocado toast I've ever seen. And the most delicious. And now we're off to Garden of the Gods.
It looks so pretty with all of the snow.
It's safe to say Kona loves the snow too.
Garden of the Gods is famous for its striking orange sandstone formations, which began forming hundreds of millions of years ago. This area used to be home to the ancestral Rockies, a mountain range that precedes today's Rocky Mountains. And as these mountains eroded, they left sediment, which through a variety of other events over time, compacted into sandstone. And when the modern-day Rockies began forming 65 million years ago, the area's fault line caused the sandstone to shift into what you see today. A beautiful contrast of orange rocks against the towering snowy peaks behind them.
It is really neat to be able to walk between these rocks. If you blindfolded me and dropped me here, I would think I was hiking in Utah with all these fiery orange rocks surrounding me.
Besides the scenery, one awesome thing about this park is that it is totally free to visit. Back when this park was gifted to the city of Colorado Springs, one rule is that it always had to remain free. And another rule is that it always had to be called Garden of the Gods. This name came to be in the 1800s when some surveyors visited the area. One surveyor said,
"This would be a great place for a beer garden."
While the other surveyor exclaimed, "Beer garden? This is a place fit for the gods to assemble. We shall call it Garden of the Gods." And it has been called Garden of the Gods ever since. There's also a rule that alcohol cannot be sold in the park, so it's safe to say the one surveyor did not get his wish.
There are tons of trails in the park and we kind of created our own adventure, so we'll link our all trails in the description below if you want to do what we did. Oh, baby.
We've headed a few minutes down the road to Old Colorado City. This area was established during the Pikes Peak Gold Rush in 1859 and became the first permanent town in the region before becoming part of Colorado Springs in 1917. It has a cute little downtown area with historic buildings, shops, and restaurants. And for lunch, we came to Monse's Pupusaria for some pupusas.
If you're unfamiliar with pupusas, they are corn cakes that are the national dish of El Salvador, and they're typically filled with meat, cheese, or beans. They have a ton of different filling options. We got 2 standard ones here, and then we also got a pupusa avalanche that's stuffed with spicy carnitas, topped with al pastor, and silky, smooth, luscious queso. They are much bigger than I thought they'd be.
That's
this
what she
plate,
said.
Yeah, this plate is heavy. I've had store-bought pupusas before, but these look way, way better. Oh my gosh. The meat is super flavorful. Queso is delicious. Got some other like onions and tomatoes on there that add a little freshness. But man, the pupusa, this is the perfect vessel to soak up all those flavors. We need to find more pupusas along the way. Oh my gosh.
It's still nice and crispy on the top. Oh, it's so gooey.
It's kind of a mix of a bunch of different foods, kind of like taco flavors, pancake form, and then also kind of a quesadilla kind of texture to it.
And all of those are the best.
And all of those foods are amazing. These are so good. This is one of my new favorite foods. We just drove about an hour to the small mining town of Cripple Creek, and man, this has to be one of the most beautiful mining towns we have ever seen. There are so many pristine historic buildings, and the drive out here was spectacular with so many views of the Rocky Mountains. But we aren't here to explore its mining history. In the wintertime, this town becomes home to something pretty cool.
A company called Ice Castles creates ice castles in a handful of locations in the US every winter, and there just so happened to be one near Colorado Springs this year, so we had to come check it out. There are ice castles, caverns, tunnels, sculptures, a bar, and a slide to explore, and it's all created by hand from professional ice artists with 10,000 icicles grown and hand placed every day. And when they're finished, there is 25 million pounds of ice.
We're only 60 seconds into this, and it's against the rules, but it's so hard to resist not to touch and break them off.
I'm more afraid that one of these extremely sharp and pointy icicles is going to fall onto me and hurt me. Wow. It is a whole other world back here. This is so cool. There's two tiny, tiny, tiny little tunnels that I guess you get to crawl through. Oh gosh. Of course we're gonna do it.
You gotta crawl. Oh no. Oh, I almost had to belly crawl to get in here. Oh, this is kind of scary. Oh wow.
Not for the claustrophobic.
Where are you? Hey.
This ground is not soft. It's just icy. Woo. Rookie mistake. We forgot our gloves. Oh, that's cold. We're just in this ice room.
It's like an igloo.
Whoa. This is a thigh workout. That was so fun.
All right, it's slide time.
This is one of the things I've been most excited for here. Oh my God!
That's awesome.
That was way faster than I thought it would be.
That was exhilarating. That was so fun. I'm gonna do that like 10 more times at least.
Ready, set, go! Woo! There's another slide called the Sky Slide. This one looks a bit steeper. Whoa. We had read some sort of mixed reviews about this place, but we are having the freaking time of our lives. You have to book a timed entry ticket to visit. We chose to come in the late afternoon, which we highly recommend because not only did we get to see the ice castles during the day, but now that it's dark, some of them are lit up with different colors.
One more round on the slide before we go.
This morning we're tackling the Manitou Incline. This is a hike that's actually more like a giant Stairmaster as you gain 2,000 feet in just over a mile as you climb 2,744 steps. We're having to put on our spikes this morning because it looks pretty icy.
All right, you ready to do this?
I hope so.
Yeah, ready as I'll ever be. I want to do it because I'm cold.
Gotta warm up.
Yeah.
We are only a few minutes in, and I'm already huffing and puffing. Oh.
So apparently hiking the incline is comparable to climbing up the Empire State Building, the Eiffel Tower twice, Washington Monument 3 times, and the Statue of Liberty 6 times. We saw the trail from the road the other day and could not believe how steep it was. It's basically like straight up. It gets way steeper up there too, towards the end.
We have reached step 500.
We've already seen several locals, you know, already doing their first or second, maybe third lap of this morning.
Running it.
Running it, that is wild.
A sign at the trailhead had all of the records for people doing the incline, and it says the most in one day was 22 times. So the incline was originally a railway built in 1907 and used to transport construction materials up to a hydroelectric plant and water line being built. And once construction was done, it was converted into a tourist attraction where people actually rode a car up to the top, which looks like it was so much fun. But in 1990, it closed down and the rails were removed, leaving just the railroad ties and becoming a super popular hike, so popular that you now have to get a free timed reservation to be able to hike it.
Oh, it's definitely getting tougher. It's getting steeper and steeper. Down towards the beginning, you check off 100 steps pretty quickly. But now, every 100 steps is taking so much longer.
I feel like I'm starting to crawl up, having to use my hands because the steps are so steep. This part almost feels like a ladder.
The last few step counters have been covered in ice, so I haven't been able to tell where we're at. But the next one coming up is 2,600, so we're almost there. 44 more to go. Last steps.
Yes. Oh, I'm so tired.
Down she goes.
I feel so good.
All right, our goal was to get up here in an hour and a half, and our official time was 1 hour, 18 and 42 seconds. We did it.
We did it. So cold and hard.
We did see people going down the steps, but there is an alternative trail you can do called the bar trail, which is what we're gonna do because it just seems a whole lot easier.
I definitely want to come back and do this multiple times, not in one day, just to see how much we can shave off of our time. Coming into this, I felt like I was pretty fit, but this gave me a big fat slice of humble pie.
And for the record, the men's record going up the incline is about 17 minutes and some change, and the women's is around 20 minutes. We got a long way to go, but I think we could at least get it under an hour.
For sure.
Yeah.
The Manitou Incline is located in Manitou Springs, a charming resort town located along a creek with tons of shops and restaurants. And as the name implies, it's also home to some mineral springs, including some that you can actually drink from.
Oh
God. Oh gosh, that's disgusting.
This tastes a lot like the Beverly at the World of Coca-Cola in Atlanta, which is the worst soda at that whole place. Worst soda I've ever had. Oh.
It says it has high levels of manganese, and it says basically like you can have a sip, but don't just drink this as your only source of water because it's too much. I don't know if that's what's making it taste bad.
It does have a little bit of carbonation to it, at least it feels like.
It's almost like kind of sweet.
Do not recommend. We are in desperate need of some fuel, so we came to a spot in town called The Loft for some bagel sandwiches. So I got the banh mi sunrise, which has cheese, egg, and a banh mi mix that has carrots, pickled onions, a bunch of cilantro. That's a good, solid, fluffy, chewy bagel. That mix is kind of spicy though. Also, oh man, that's really spicy. Also that egg, nice and fluffy too.
And I got the Prince Caspian, which has cream cheese, avocado, pickled onions, and then their homemade chili oil, which it is dripping in.
Oh, you got a little chili oil on your face there.
Oh, that is so good.
And also from our seat, we can admire our achievement. There's the top of the incline. And now it's time for a blast from the past. We're at the Manitou Springs Penny Arcade, which has hundreds of games spread out through a bunch of buildings, like a whole city block it seems like, some dating back all the way to the 1900s. I don't know how many of these games actually cost a penny, but we're limiting ourselves to $10, so we'll see how long it lasts us.
I have not played this in forever.
Oh! All right, I'm gonna measure my sex appeal.
The love tester.
The love tester. Harmless and clammy. Oh no.
I think you're hot stuff, babe.
Let's see if I have any better luck on my sex appeal on this machine. 132, yes! That's pretty good, I'm an angel baby. Oh, that's a hers. Romeo and wild and crazy. Let's go! Woo-hoo.
Come closer and listen to what Zoltar has to tell you. Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today. That's right, you must live your days as if they were your last, because one day they will be. You know what I mean? So go on, have fun.
We actually got a lot for our money. We have $2.50 left. I figure we'll just save it for laundry money. We always need quarters for laundry.
That was so much fun. It was just so nostalgic and made us feel like kids again. And I have a feeling our next stop will as well. All right, y'all, we have headed back to school. This is the Ivy Wild School, which is a former elementary school that was open from 1916 to 2009, and after it closed, it was converted into a marketplace with different restaurants, bars, and shops. But despite being repurposed, it still feels like a school. They have all these kid paintings, blackboards, old classroom doors. We found some lockers downstairs, old water fountains, and you can even go in the gym. Does this bring back lots of memories?
This is a little smaller of a gym than I'm used to, but hardwood floors I like. Yeah, this is awesome.
For those of you that don't know, Adam was a teacher for 6 years, and most of that was spent teaching PE, so this is where he'd be hanging out. And back in elementary school, this is where I would be in all of the school plays.
They also have an art vending machine. This is a repurposed cigarette vending machine, and for $5 you can pick out some art.
Oh, I picked a wild animal. It's an aardvark or an anteater.
And I stand corrected. This is a baby tapir. I've never heard of this. And what makes it even cooler is that all the proceeds from the sales of these blocks and some other art on her website are donated to organizations that help wild animals. Hey, you, quit scratching on the desk. Get to the principal's office.
It turns out being naughty is a lot of fun at the Ivy Wild School because the principal's office is actually a bar with cocktails, mocktails, and coffee. So instead of getting detention, you get drinks. Yeah! And they even have some fun school-themed named drinks like Band Geek, Teacher's Pet, and Extra Credit.
And we got 2 of their mocktails. This is the Baldur's Brew, and this is the Great White Buffalo.
And they have a bunch of stuff in them that
Yeah.
we don't remember. A lot of ingredients.
Ooh, that one's really good. That one has non-alcoholic wine in it. It tastes like wine.
Ooh, it's fizzy, fruity, sweet. I just love that more places are upping their mocktail game. I love mocktails.
I have a feeling if principal offices were anything like this, there'd be a lot more kids in the principal's office.
They'd be eager to get in trouble. I never went to the principal's office as a kid. I was a very well-behaved student, always did my homework, never was late to class, was quiet, just did not like getting in trouble. I gotta say, it's kind of fun.
Thank you for calling Pikes Peak, America's Mountain. Today is Monday, the 3rd of February at 9 o'clock in the morning. Our highway will be starting the day open 13 of the 19 miles. The top 6 miles to the summit are closed due to high winds.
We had hoped to drive up Pikes Peak today, which is one of only 2 14ers, which are mountains over 14,000 feet. You can actually drive up in Colorado. The road is technically open in the winter, but how far you can go depends on the conditions. And after the snowstorm we had a few days ago, the summit has not reopened. So that's going to do it for our time here in Colorado Springs. Even without Pikes Peak, we still had a blast here, but the goal of our road trip is to see a lot of snow and experience a true winter, so we're off to the mountains.